a friend, here's what to say. Let's talk in English, 10 minutes every day. When you need a friend, here's what to say. Let's talk in English, 10 minutes every day. That's the way.
Hi, Trina. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Greg.
Tell us about your latest trip.
I just got back from Egypt. I spent 5 days on a cruise down the Nile River. It was wonderful.
Cool. I've always wanted to do that.
It's a peaceful way to see Egypt. You can see farmers and other interesting sights on the banks of the river.
What else did you do?
I went to Luxor. It has some wonderful ancient temples and one of the largest temple areas in the world.
Wow. And isn't the Valley of the Kings near Luxor?
Yes, I really love that. You can see the tombs of Egypt's great kings and queens.
Is King Tut's tomb there?
Yes, I went inside to see his mummy.
When you visit Egypt, take a cruise on the Nile River. It's a peaceful way to travel and see Egypt's sights. Watch farmers on the banks of the river as you pass by. Visit the city of Luxor and see its ancient temples. It has one of the largest temple areas in the world. Then visit the Valley of the Kings. It has at least 63 tombs of Egypt's kings and queens. The most famous is King Tut's tomb. You can go inside and admire it, but its wonderful treasures are now in the Grand Egyptian Museum. Hello everyone, happy Friday and welcome to Let's Talk in English. I'm your teacher Garrett and thanks for stopping by.
Hey there friends, I'm Pauline and you're back for the second day of this month's travel article here.
Our title is Egypt.
Ooh, yesterday we had a great lesson about some of the things you can see and do in Egypt.
It was really interesting. I know I like to complain about going to hot places like the desert, but honestly, Egypt is a pretty cool place.
Yeah, well, why don't we review yesterday's lesson some more? How about a game of true or false?
Okay, sounds fun. Friends, don't forget to try answering these yourself at home. If the thing Pauline says is true, we say true. If it's not, then we can say false.
All right. So, in Egypt, you can see some of the oldest buildings in the world, the pyramids.
Ooh, that's true. You can find them in Giza.
That's right. All right. Well, also in Giza, you can go and visit the new Grand Egyptian Museum. Thousands of people go there every day.
Nope, that one's false. The museum hasn't opened yet.
You got me. That's right. It will open later this year. When it does open, you can see lots of different treasures from around Egypt, but they won't have any famous mummies.
True. Oh, wait, no, false. They will have mummies.
You're right. Oh, I almost got you there. Well, good job, Garrett.
Thanks, Pauline. I'm excited to see what we're going to learn about today. So let's go over to Sonia now for our keywords.
Hello， 航行在尼罗河上是一种平静欣赏埃及的方式。Trina 说 ，It's a peaceful way to see Egypt。形容词 peaceful 就是平静的。Trina 说，在河岸上可以看到农夫 以及其他吸引人目光的景点。You can see farmers and other interesting sights on the banks of the river. 名词 bank 就是岸。Trina 说，在卢克索有一些很美丽的古代神庙，还有全世界数一数二大的神庙群。It has some wonderful ancient temples and one of the largest temple areas in the world. 名词 temple 就是神殿。Greg 问道，帝王谷不是就在卢克索附近吗？ And isn't the Valley of the Kings near Luxor? 名词 king 就是国王、君王。在帝王谷还可以看到埃及的伟大国王和女王的陵墓。Trina 说 ，You can see the tombs of Egypt's great kings and queens. 名词 queen 就是女王、王后。
Hi, Trina. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Greg.
Tell us about your latest trip.
I just got back from Egypt. I spent 5 days on a cruise down the Nile River. It was wonderful.
Cool. I've always wanted to do that.
It's a peaceful way to see Egypt. You can see farmers and other interesting sights on the banks of the river.
Oh, it's good to see Trina travel back on Greg's program.
Yes, it is. And she went on another trip. Oh, wouldn't it be great to travel all the time like Trina?
Oh, I would love it. But I'm sure she gets tired sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I love to travel too, but it is always nice to be back home after each trip.
Yeah, and Trina went on a special trip this time, though. She went all the way to Egypt. There, she spent 5 days on a cruise down the Nile River.
Ooh. Remember, we can use the verb spend when we're talking about time too, not just money. Let's go practice this with Manya. Manya?
Hi friends! I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today's Use It is all about time. Think about how many days you've spent in a place before. To make a sentence, you can say, I spent 3 days at my grandmother's, or I spent 10 days at the new house. If you want to make your English better, then you have to use it.
Thanks, Manya. Pauline, did you say that Trina went on a cruise down a river?
Yes, she went on a cruise down the Nile River.
But I thought cruise ships were massive. How did it fit in the river?
Well, I'm sure it wasn't an ocean cruise ship.
Okay, that was probably smaller. I've actually always wanted to stay on a boat for a few days. Oh, and the Nile River is perfect. It's the longest river in the world.
Right? That would be amazing. Greg thinks so too. He's always wanted to do it. Sonia, can you tell us some more examples of how to use a sentence like this?
Greg 一直想搭船游尼罗河。他说 I've always wanted to do that. 我们来看一下这个说法。Somebody has always wanted to do something. 意思是某人一直很想去做某事，但是还没有机会完成。是 have 的缩写。Wanted 是 want 的过去分词。这个句子用了现在完成式 have has 加 PP 来表达从过去到现在一段时间中的状态。来看例句 I've always wanted to be a backpacker. 我一直很想当个背包客。或是 Mom has always wanted to play the piano. 妈妈一直很想弹钢琴。我们再举一个例子 They've always wanted to travel around the world. 他们一直很想环游世界。
So Trina got to go on a cruise down the Nile. Greg has always wanted to do that.
I've always wanted to do that too.
I've always wanted to do that. And that's today's calendar phrase.
I always wanted to do that.
I always wanted to do that. 我一直想要那么做。
I went on a cruise.
I always wanted to do that.
I rode a camel.
I always wanted to do that.
I visited the pyramids.
I always wanted to do that.
And went into a tomb and saw a mummy.
Ew! Who would want to do that? Ugh.
I always wanted to do that.
I always wanted to do that. 我一直想要那么做。
A peaceful trip down a river sounds so nice and relaxing.
I agree. Sometimes it's just great to sit, relax, and take a break. Oh, speaking of breaks, it's time for us to take a short one now. We'll be right back, though, just after this.
Let's talk in English. 10 minutes every day. That's the way.
Welcome back to the show, friends. Garrett, have you ever gone on a boat ride before?
Yeah, I have. Many times, actually. I loved going down a river in Costa Rica. There were so many animals on the banks.
Wow, I didn't know you did that. Trina also uses that word banks. The banks of the river are the sides of the river. The banks of the Nile are full of things too.
That's right, but that's not all that Trina did in Egypt. Let's go back to her conversation with Greg now for more.
What else did you do?
I went to Luxor. It has some wonderful ancient temples and one of the largest temple areas in the world.
Wow. And isn't the Valley of the Kings near Luxor?
Yes, I really love that. You can see the tombs of Egypt's great kings and queens.
Is King Tut's tomb there?
Yes, I went inside to see his mummy.
In yesterday's lesson, we talked about one of Egypt's famous sites, the pyramids at Giza.
Right, they were built for the kings.
That's right, but that's not the only place in Egypt to learn about kings. You can also take a trip to the Valley of the Kings.
Oh, yes. Trina went there. So it's a valley all about kings?
Well, many kings were placed there after they died. That's why we call it the Valley of the Kings. Sonia, can you tell us more about this?
想知道帝王谷是不是在路克索附近 ？Greg 问。And isn't the Valley of the Kings near Luxor? 我们今天来学 of 的用法。The Valley of the Kings 君王的谷用了介系词 of 来表达两者之间的归属关系。像这段课文里面呢 ，Tombs of Egypt's great kings and queens 也是一样的用法。伟大国王以及女王的陵墓。来看例句 ：Meet Joe, he's a friend of mine. 来见见 Joe， 他是我的朋友。或是 I love the color of her hair. 我好喜欢她的发色哦。我们再举一个例子 ：Who's the leader of the team? 谁是这个团队的队长呢？
Thanks, Sonia. You're one of the best teachers we know. We love teaching with you.
Yes, we do. And it's great to have Trina on the program today, too. She says that in Luxor, there are some wonderful ancient temples.
Oh, so the Valley of the Kings doesn't have pyramids?
Well, no, not exactly. It has tombs. Tombs are where they put the great kings and queens.
Oh, there is one king that is the most famous of them all, right? He has a funny name. What is it?
You mean King Tut, right?
Yeah, that's the one. What a great name.
Yeah, he was still very young when he died, but the people built a beautiful tomb for him in Luxor. They put many treasures in there as well.
Ooh, are they still in there?
Not anymore. Now you need to go to the Grand Egyptian Museum if you want to see them.
Oh, right. But Trina did get to see King Tut's mummy when she was there because she went to that museum in Luxor, right? Sounds like a great place to visit.
You are so right, Pauline. You know, every time that we have another travel lesson, we get to learn more about the world.
Yeah, and we get to learn some good words that help us talk about these places. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and review today's keywords together now.
Here's your first keyword for today. Peaceful. Peaceful. It is so peaceful in the mountains.
Bank. Bank. The children played on the river bank.
Temple. Temple. This temple is really old.
King. King. Everyone admires the king.
Queen. Queen. The queen sat next to the king. All right, friends, those are your keywords for today. Just keep on practicing them. We know you're doing great. And now, let's go back and watch our conversation one more time.
Hi, Trina. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Greg.
Tell us about your latest trip.
I just got back from Egypt. I spent 5 days on a cruise down the Nile River. It was wonderful.
Cool. I've always wanted to do that.
It's a peaceful way to see Egypt. You can see farmers and other interesting sights on the banks of the river.
What else did you do?
I went to Luxor. It has some wonderful ancient temples and one of the largest temple areas in the world.
Wow. And isn't the Valley of the Kings near Luxor?
Yes, I really love that. You can see the tombs of Egypt's great kings and queens.
Is King Tut's tomb there?
Yes, I went inside to see his mummy.
I would love to go to Egypt.
Me too. There are a lot of interesting things to do there.
Yeah, you can ride camels and play in the sand.
You can also take a cruise.
A cruise? In the desert?
Yes, a cruise down the Nile River.
Oh, wow. That would be wonderful.
And peaceful. You can see interesting things on the river banks.
Nice. So what else can you do?
You can visit ancient temples.
Ooh, anything else?
You can visit the Valley of the Kings. You can see the great kings and queens.
Oh, I would like to meet the king and queen.
Well, they're dead.
Dead? Oh,
I'm sorry. I didn't even know they were sick. Well, what about King Tut?
He's dead too. But you can go to the tomb and see his mummy.
His mummy? Can I see his daddy too? His mummy and daddy?
No.
Oh, I was looking for the word of the week, and look what I found. A marvelous treasure. It's in a beautiful box, and it's filled with valuable things. Let's take a look inside. Oh, look at this beautiful diamond ring. It looks valuable. A real treasure. Maybe you'd like to buy it? Well, we can bargain later. Hey, bargain is a good word. Oh, and look. A beautiful, beautiful necklace. A pearl necklace. Something a queen would wear. Queen is a good word too. And what's this? It's a crown. A crown that a king wears. Very, very valuable. This is so marvelous. A real treasure. And that's not all. Inside, I found coins. Valuable gold coins. Wow. Now I found this marvelous treasure. Oh, and I also found the word of the week. It's treasure, of course. Treasure. And now that I know the word of the week, I can relax. I can enjoy a peaceful evening and enjoy the sunset. Ah, what a treasure.
What a great lesson today. Oh, but Garrett, I do have a question about one of our key words.
Which key word is it?
Well, it's the word bank. Isn't a bank a place you go to get money or to save your money?
That's true. It's an important place around town, but that's not what we're talking about in our lesson today. We're talking about the banks of a river, like the Nile River.
So you could also say a river bank if you want to make it very clear, I guess. Just know, friends, that this word means two different things and it's spelled the same way.
That's right. So be careful when you hear it. And remember, river banks are the sides of the river.
Don't worry. Once you know that, I think it will be easy to understand which bank we are talking about. But you're not wrong if you thought, oh, I thought a bank was a place around town. It's that too. Well, anyways, friends, you did great today. Thanks for learning some English with us today and all week long. We'll see you tomorrow for our review show right here on Let's Talk in English. Goodbye.